I got introduced to law reform in the 1980s when Bill C-31 was being discussed by Indigenous women across the country. I had traveled up to my home community where my mother and some of my aunts and other relatives were starting to talk about the fact that they had lost their Indigenous identity for marrying a non-Indigenous man. And I had no idea what that had meant at the time. But I became very curious about why Indigenous women in my community were networking and coordinating efforts to talk about the discrimination that they had experienced and had not been aware that they had lost their identity for marrying a non-Indigenous man. And the implications on that was that they were denied housing, they were denied the ability to live on the community, they were denied the ability to be buried in the home community, which had huge implications on the children because children's connection to the culture and the language is by living within the community. Since that period, I became very interested in finding out the implications that this discrimination had on my family, and particularly the women in my family. And my mother encouraged me at a very young age to start volunteering for organizations that advocated for women's rights because she said that those women that I would make connections with would likely be my network for the rest of my life. And she's right. During that period, I volunteered for 2 women's organizations within Winnipeg, and I have remained connected to them throughout my career. I still call on these women for advice when I am advocating for women and children in a number of areas, and it was the best advice that I was given. I think that I'm now in a period where I am looking back in some ways to look at my daughter's generation to find ways that I can help them strategize to make sure that their future is better. I also think that that generation has a stronger link to who they are, and so I think are more empowered to create better changes for women. And I think that it's my generation's responsibility to help foster that energy in a positive way.